In ancient China exists a mystical realm known as Peach Blossom Land. A lone fisherman found it one day centuries ago while following the Blue River, until it came to an end, disappearing behind tall mountains. He passed through a narrow opening in the mountain and there saw only the happy faces of contented people. The air and earth scented with delicate peach blossom petals. All lived in harmony and joy in this idyllic and timeless place, and knew not of the outside world, of the traveler now amongst them. Okay, welcome to yours truly, Tai Chi. Today with me, I have on the show, I have Danielle and I have Julia, and they're going to be with me for line 2 of Spirit Horse. Okay, so girls, I'm so glad you're here today, and I think the audience, I think they like it better when I have guests on the show. So what I think we're going to do is, I'm going to line you up a little bit. I'm going to be like up front, and you're just going to be a little bit behind me so you can follow. And the audience can see all of us, and you can follow along easily, okay? So if you're like just maybe about down here is perfect, and I think everybody can see us. Today's show, by the way, is dedicated to my friends Will Roadhouse and Jason Johnson, who were the producers in some of the shows of House Hunters International. They've been a very good support to the show to me, and I want to recognize them today. So we're going to start with our warm-ups, okay, girls? And what we're going to be doing today is the same thing we did in the last show, because it's so important. Breathing is so important in Tai Chi practice. So we're going to be standing with our feet about hips width apart. Okay, are you good? And the knees are slightly flexed as if you were kind of sitting in a saddle. And we're just going to bring the arms out and breathe in. And we're just breathing through the nose, both ways. Exhale and inhale. And what I explained in last episode was that we're trying to feel the breath as if it were a crest of a wave in the ocean. So there's a point where you breathe in. Oh, wait a minute. We have an airplane message from Peach Blossom Land. Ooh, let's see. What does this say? Oops, let's get it right. Okay. Ah, yes. Here, this is a good quote. 10,000 flowers in the spring, the moon in autumn, a cool breeze in summer, snow in winter. If your mind isn't clouded by unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life. And that was said by this Chinese philosopher by the name of Wu Men. That's wonderful. Julia, can you just tuck that up on somewhere in the back, our little airplane from Peach Blossom Land? Hopefully throughout the rest of the series, we'll get lots of Peach Blossom Land airplanes coming in. They're fun. Okay, now here we go. So we're going to go back to the energy orb. Here we are. So we're riding the incoming breath. And we exhale when we get to the point where we feel we're at the top of the crest of the incoming breath, okay? And then we exhale to come back down again. And that's pretty much how Tai Chi works. Remember that Tai Chi works best when you feel like you're floating through the air or on top of the air and making as little effort as possible, okay? All right, girls, you're doing so wonderful. None of the guests on my show, at least to date, have had any Tai Chi practice before. I mean, I may show them 2 little things before the camera rolls, but for the most part, these girls are brave enough to come on here and do the show without any practice or any foreknowledge of Tai Chi. So I'm really so grateful for you. Okay, good. That shows up throughout, as you all know. So now what we're going to do, gang, is we're going to do something to relax the neck. And this is really good if you're on the computer a lot, okay? And all we do is we just drop down your chin and roll your head and look up. And drop your chin and look up. So if you're on the computer a lot or you have a long drive and your neck feels creepy, this is what you do. You just let it down, and this relaxes your shoulders. And just come back to the center and look up. So it's really easy to do that. And remember, never strain your neck, as you already know. We don't strain anything on Yours Truly Tai Chi. Okay, so our next thing is we're going to just do simple arm swings, and they're just real easy. Kind of like, oh well. So if you're having a, sort of a difficult day, you just kind of say, oh well. And this makes everything feel better. And you just rotate the spine. Allow your spine to turn. Be really, really loose and floppy, okay? Good, excellent, because that's going to show up a little bit later. And then our next little move that we do, which is also for the spine, and make sure again that your knees are flexed, everybody at home. And we're just doing this brushing aside. Now to do this right, you have to almost bend the knees a little bit more, but you don't have to. So it's just brushing aside. It's like you're just going, move over. Okay? Just like that. And it does rotate the spine, and whenever you rotate the spine, it actually helps your immune system, and it actually helps you breathe better. And maybe one of these days I'll go into a larger discussion on that. Okay, let's step back. And we're just going to be doing these cute little ta-da. And we did this in the last show. Again, we're never stepping out past our natural hip space, our natural hip extension, because we don't want to take ourselves out of good balance. Okay? Spirit Horse uses very small steps. If you see other styles of Tai Chi, which are traditional, you'll see that the stances are very large, but we don't do that in Spirit Horse. So this is for everybody, regardless of their physical capabilities. So let's just show the audience what happens if they can't extend that foot up. So if you can't get your heel of your foot up, you would just step forward with your heel down on the floor. So the stance might be a little smaller, but that way at least you're warming up your hips and you are not going to be in any balance danger. Okay? Girls, you're just doing so good. Everybody okay? Ready to take this apart? Okay. So we have to go over the components of line 2. So here's how we do that. We're going to wind up with our left foot. And if you can see, I'll just pull my pant leg up a little bit. You can see that my heel is up because I'm really balancing on one foot, and this is kind of like a stabilizing stance, okay? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to wind up at the end of line 1 in this orb, this energy orb, okay? So are you with me? Alrighty. And then I'm going to step back with my left foot, and I'm going to step back. And here's that first arm swing, except it's stationary, right? And here's another orb, and I step back with the opposite foot now, and I have another stationary arm swing. Okay, and then I'm going to step back up. I have another energy orb, and then I step forward in this little bracing stance, and I'm offering a sugar lump to the horse, to Spirit Horse. Okay, and then I'm going to let my hands drop, and as I turn to the west, I'm going to turn and do that same thing. I'm going to offer a sugar lump to Spirit Horse to the south, okay? And now, girls, this is we're going to do this. We're going to turn the hands over, and it's like we're holding on to a saddle. So everybody at home, we're holding on to a saddle, and you're going to pull your right foot in. There we go. But we're going to be facing, everybody at home, we're going to be facing west, and we're going to step to the north now. So this is north over here. We're going to step north, and we're going to soothe a Spirit Horse. And then we're going to hold the saddle. We're going to step out again, and we're going to soothe Spirit Horse. There we go. So that little set, that little component, we can face front again. The viewing audience at home, wherever you are facing is your north. So I'm facing north, you're facing me, this is your north, I'm your north, okay? So you know where west is, and east and south, all right? It's a little bit difficult, but in your book that you can mail away for, you'll have some cards, you can put up the directional cards. Okay, so ready? All right. Now, is it easier if you get behind me?
Yeah.
Come on behind me. Okay, so here we go. All right, gang, you're doing fabulous. Okay, so for the components, we all are going to be facing front, and we're in this energy orb, okay? And our first one is we step back. We have an energy orb, we step back. We're going to come up. We have our first sugar lump for the horse. And then we're going to hold the saddle, which means our hands turn over and they pull in. Excuse me. Actually, we're going to come here first, right? And then we're going to come down and have the energy orb. We're going to feed the horse the sugar lump and hold the saddle. And then we're going to come over here and soothe the horse and hold the saddle. So these are our components. And then we're going to come back. So right now we're just practicing going back and forth, okay? That's all we're doing. So we have a sugar lump. We're going to come down. We have another sugar lump. We hold the horse. We hold the saddle. Okay, gang? And we're going to come forward and roll forward and hold the saddle, okay? So those are just the components before we put the form together, all right? And as far as the stance work goes on that, what I'm doing is I'm stepping out, and I have to stabilize by pulling my foot in, and then I come in, I step out, and I roll forward. Okay? So that's basically all I'm doing. You want to try that with me? I'm holding the saddle, I step out, I roll forward. This is kind of like you're buttering a piece of bread. We like to relate to food, right? And that's all we're doing here. So everybody at home, you don't really have to worry about whether you're going left or right doesn't matter right now. This is all we're doing. Stepping back and forth. Okay? Questions? Anybody have questions?
We're doing good.
I think you're doing good. They're doing fabulous. Okay. Whew. Ready? All right. Now we're going to go from the beginning of the form. Were you girls here from the beginning of the form? Okay. Well, we're going to go slow then. All right. Here we go. We're going to take Spirit Horse all the way from line 1. And Danielle and Julia are going to follow. We're going to be going nice and slow. So we have our first energy orb. We inhale and exhale. We're going to step to the left. And we have a Spirit Horse stance. And we inhale again. And this is kind of like a smaller version of this, okay? And we're going to roll back. We have an energy orb. And we hold on to that all the way, and we come back to the front. And we just did this, so this is nothing new. Okay? And again, down we go. And now we're going to roll over here to the right, which is our east. We roll back. We have an energy orb. We're going to come down. And we have our last Spirit Horse stance here. We're going to come in. We're going to come into the orb. We have our left foot in. And here we are. Now we're at line 2. So we have our first Spirit Horse spreads his wings to fly. We have an orb. You girls are doing so amazing. I can't believe it. That's great. We have an energy orb, and we're going to feed the horse his first sugar lump. There we go. And we have our second sugar lump. Good. Now remember how we did the saddle? All right. So we're going to hold the saddle and step in with the right foot. And we're going to step out and soothe the horse. And we're going to hold the saddle. Everybody at home watching my friend Julia here. Okay. We're going to step out and we're going to soothe. Danielle, if you got me better, you got wings like Spirit Horse. We're soothing the horse, and that's the end of our form. So that's great. That's wonderful. Okay, so we'll be back with our next show to show you that again. So they'll have lots of opportunities. We have lots of ways to show you how to get the form into your noodles. All right, I want to thank you for joining us at Yours Truly Tai Chi. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step right here on the show. You take care now. Thanks to Danielle and Julia, my assistants today. Love it. Great. You did wonderful.